Hello and welcome to Leader Spotlight. I'm Tracy Clark. I'm the Executive Director for the Louisa County Chamber of Commerce, and I'm really excited today to introduce you to our guest, Mark Wood, who is the Director with Rappahannock Electric Cooperative. Mark, thank you so much for taking some time to join with us today. Why don't we get started with telling us a little bit about yourself? I know your board duties are kind of in addition to your full-time work. Tell us what you do, Ed.
Yes, I work for full-time for VDOT. I'm the assistant resident engineer and area land use engineer for the Louisa residency. And in that role, I work with developers, I work with landowners. We review site plans for the Walmarts that come through, commercial development, subdivisions, minor subdivisions. We work with the local board of supervisors and planning commission and land development staff, and Louisa residency covers Fluvanna, Louisa, and Orange counties. I work with a lot of citizens in those three counties as well as the government officials. And so it really keeps us busy, particularly in this building boom. We've been really rolling, but and getting through COVID and doing virtual meetings and being able to make more efficiency of our time by using virtual meetings and learning how to get in and do the paper signatures after hours. So it's been a lot of schedule adjustments and learning new things, but it's been great. It's been, keeping us busy. We're staying focused and we're getting the work turned out.
Wow, that's great. So you know a lot about Louisa and what's going on and the growth and changes that are happening. How long have you been? Are you a Louisa resident, or how did you wind up in Louisa?
I'm a Louisa resident, but actually I started the first 4 years of my life. I was in Goochland, and then we moved to Henrico and we were there 5 years. I went first through fourth grade there. And then we moved to Chesterfield, and because Dad wanted to be able to have a garden and do things for the family. But it was a rural area and a rural subdivision with not a lot of houses, but he didn't realize there were covenants. So we had a garden 1 year, then he told my dad, that's it. And he said, well, that's it for me too, because we're moving somewhere else. And so Dad looked around. We ended up moving to Louisa County 50 years ago. And so we learned how to garden. The first thing Dad couldn't wait to do was get 4 pigs. And my brother and I got to catch them and provide entertainment from Mr. Ware, my dad, because the city boys were in the mud and trying to catch pigs and put them in a burlap sack. So it wasn't fun for us. We didn't think it was funny, but they were very amused. So we got to learn the country way of living, and we love to hunt and fish and be able to walk in the woods. And it was very different, and we really enjoyed it. I love Louisa County. Love the people, love the land, love the culture of rural living. It's just so much different than like in Henrico. I was behind a chain link fence. And just, don't go anywhere, a bad person might get you. And I thought that was really silly, my mom, to say that. But now when you get older and you get on the news, have your own children, you do start to realize that the reality, the bad things can happen to kids. So
that's right.
Areas and just a lot more exposure. People can ride horses, so they can farm or have a garden and do what they want. Have some chickens and fresh farm eggs, and there's a lot more opportunity to have, and to me, enjoyable way of life. I love it. Best thing ever happened was moving to Louisa County.
Yeah. Now, how did you wind up doing what you're doing? Growing up, did you envision like being an engineer and working for VDOT, or did you have a different plan in mind when you were young?
My dad worked me real hard, and my brother too. He believed in hard work, and like you said, if you can frame a house, or if you can dig a ditch, or if you can mechanic. The first vehicle I had, my brother and I pulled apart on my dad's instruction and overhauled a 289 Ford, and I drove the car. My brother drove the car. My older sister ended up driving the car eventually. But we knew how to do about everything. He wanted us to have a trade marketable. And so when I was in school, I took some academic, I took some business, took some vocational classes. I wasn't never ever planning on going to college. But I walked out and I graduated from Louisa County High in '78. I remember looking back and thinking, I'll never be in a school ever again. And that was June of '78. And I've been pumping gas since my junior year, washing windshields, checking oil. I knew I don't want to do this. I was able to get an entry-level survey job at VDOT starting in June of '78. And after being out there in the heat, mosquitoes, poison oak, ivy, ticks, chiggers, I started thinking, I think I do want to do some type of improvement. So I ended up at J. Sargent Reynolds that fall. From June, I'm never going, of '78 to September. Hey, I'm there. And I took surveying 1. Hey, I can do this, surveying 2. And finally, it took 5 years. I wasn't real serious about getting a degree until after a year or two. But then I said, I want to get my associate's degree. So I got that in 5 years, working full time. Then I transferred to ODU, and I had to commute from Louisa to Richmond and leave Richmond 2:33 Then travel 100 miles to ODU. Did that for 3.5 years. Got my
Wow.
bachelor's degree. I was working full time. And I knew, but the goal I had at that time, I wanted to become a professional engineer. And it took a while. In 99, I got my professional engineer's license. No, excuse me, in 94, I got my professional engineer's license. And I always wanted to be a licensed surveyor as well. So I started at surveying, had a lot of boundary survey experience, construction surveying. So in 99, I took my license and I got past that in 1999. I got my licensed land surveyor in Commonwealth, Virginia. So those were a couple of big goals I had. I was more of a technical person.
Yeah.
And, but after working technical a long time, I have had a desire to be more in the management, doing some management. I still like to keep my fingers in the technical part. I guess the math, the science, and history. History is what I've always really, really loved and just thoroughly. But end up just working more in the math and science field. But God's really opened a lot of doors. I had no idea I would ever work for VDOT. Had no idea I'd ever be licensed. I really saw myself as probably framing houses or digging out ditches behind a backhoe, putting in septic fields and drain fields, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Plumber, something, but never college ever, because not many college graduates came out of our family until I guess my older sister went. And I knew
That's great.
She had a tough time going on a tight budget. I said, I don't want to be down there starving at Virginia Tech or anywhere else. But she made it and I made it. You got to have.
That's wonderful. What a path. I love hearing about just such determination and obstacles that you had to overcome to achieve and get that goal. I mean, that's great work ethic and carrying that over into what you're doing today. I mean, it's a great story. And the fact that you can still be here in Louisa and working in this community, that's pretty cool. Tell me a little bit about how did you or what's kind of the transition that got you involved with REC on the board of directors?
I tell you, I just had a lot of good experience with REC, and I've had some situations with different entities. I won't say what fields, but just when people not honoring what they said they're going to do, they don't honor the contract, they don't follow through. And the first thing I found right off about REC, my wife and I were 1 o'clock in the morning. It was a Sunday morning. We're working on the house. It's an old farmhouse and we're renovating it. And she mentioned about how bright the lights were. And she was over in the other room. I said, bright? I said, I can hardly see. The lights are dim. I don't know if the bulb's going bad. She said, something funny is going on. Anyway, we had lost our neutral. And so the TV got fried and some other things happened. And my wife said, I'm calling REC. I said, they will never, why? It's Sunday, 1 a.m. They will not be here till Monday. She said, want to make a bet? So she called, and sure enough, about an hour later, folks from Bowling, they come all the way from Bowling Green, and they diagnosed the problem. And of course, I was worried about my TV, my microwave had fried. And I said, they'll be just like the car insurance people, and try to pull something to get out of having to fix it. And I asked, I said, what's the problem? Well, we lost the neutral. And I said, you say we, you mean REC, right? Not me. This is not my problem. No.
Right.
I said, who's paying for this stuff? I said, well, I've got an insurance form right in the truck. I'll get it. You fill it out. We'll take care of it. And immediately they did. And they took care of the microwave. They took care of the TV. And I'm like, wow, I'm not used to this kind of customer service. They were pleasant, even though it was early in the morning. They were nice, very professional. And then other situations too, where I had to work with REC, always professional, always upbeat, customer service oriented, just good, hardworking people. I just really enjoyed the time I'd spent with them and really admired them. I said, and the REC, the core values of caring, integrity, respect, and service. And that's what you see in them. That's the core values that I have. And so we kind of share the same core values. That's what my dad instilled in me. That's what he believed in, was hard work, being honest, and just caring about people. And then my dad, sometimes my brother and I would go with him, we'd cut firewood for people in our area that were cold and didn't have firewood. And at first I didn't like it. Hey, you're interfering with my hunting, Dad. But sometimes you go into some places and people are freezing cold and they're waiting for the next social security check. And they just, it's like 10 degrees outside and you can see your breath in the house. I'm like, well, this is probably a lot more important than being out hunting this morning freezing, because these people are freezing inside their house.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
I just really respect REC. I have a lot of respect for REC.
So let's step back a second, because we were talking a little bit earlier. Rappahannock Electric Co-op, right? So a lot of people don't always know what does it mean to be part of a co-op. I was even sharing with you that in my experience, I need power. So I call whoever's providing power in that area and I sign up to get power. But tell me a little bit about what does it mean to be a member or a member owner of a co-op? What does that mean to you as a member owner?
As a member owner, you actually own part of the company. You're actually a member, but you're also an owner in respect that you're helping pay the bills. And as a we're not a private entity, so we're a cooperative. So you're part of that cooperative, and your money goes in there paying. You actually have a vote each year. We have annual election, and 3 board members are up for re-election, and you can have challengers can put in this situation. This year we're in now, we actually have Bill Frazier that covers Hanover and Goochland retiring, and he's retiring. And so we have 5 folks that throw their hat in the ring with the process we have, and they're running for the board. And I think it's a great thing to have. We got 5 candidates, and they can all present their platform, let you know what they're about, and the member owners get to elect a new board member for that area. So I think that's wonderful to have them. But also what we call any of the profits that you call, and we refer to as margins. Each year we give back money and to the member owners, and this past year we give back $10 million to our member owners through that, because they're part of the cooperative, and through the savings that we've had. And we're always looking for cost savings. We recently put in a battery installation, a large battery that can run a number of subdivisions in the area for a long time. And even in peak hours, sometimes peak load, when everybody's got their air conditioner on, that determines the more power we buy at that higher level actually increases the rate that we have to pay for the kilowatts. So anything we can do, if we can use that battery and take pull from that to reduce the amount of peak load, we can actually give people lower rates and help. So this REC is just really innovative. I mean, the leadership, Kent Farmer was there for a long time, and he was a great leader, great director. And recently John Hewitt came on and is like a vice president level. And we got a good look at him for about a year and a half, 2 years, and saw what he could do. I mean, we've been blessed with great leaders. It's hardworking, innovative people that just look not only what we're doing now, how can we do it better? How can we serve our member owners better? And just very service oriented and very technical people too, that look at all different facets of ways we can do better, save money, and provide a better service.
So I'm just thinking and listening to you in your description, and the Chamber of Commerce is a membership-based organization, right? So you pay in as a member, and they have the ability to come to board meetings. They can weigh in on decisions of the board and really voice their opinion. With a co-op, I imagine, as a member owner, what are the channels? How do I provide my feedback or input, or even suggestions or questions to the board of directors? What channels and how can I do that as a member owner?
Some of those can be directly to your board member. We're available in the community. We know a lot of people. We work in the community typically. We live in the community. We have fun. We go to events. But also, there's folks can go directly to the REC. We have myrec.coop. You can look in there and find different channels. You can find a lot of information there. You can also find contact information. And typically, if somebody's power's out, you don't go, it's a lot better just to report it, because the board member is not going to be able to get your power turned on any quicker.
Right.
When my power's out, we'll report it, but nobody's going to come, hey, that's the director, we're going to go to them quicker. That's exactly what we don't want to happen. And so,
Right.
and also through the myrec.coop, you can go in there and monitor the power outages and see what's going on and find out where the problem's at. We've had a couple of outages lately, but we've been really blessed. We are blessed because we're on Route 33 where we live, and there's big power lines between 2 substations. So if we lose power one way, you can usually backfeed from the other substation. But just recently, a couple months ago, we had a major transmission line that went down over there. So we were out, and that's just, that's the way it is. But REC is very quick to respond, and, very blessed too, because 5 or 6 years ago, we put in a Louisa service area down on Route 33 close by. And recently, we actually started staffing it with more linemen and people who can respond more than just a warehouse, but actually people stationed there. So that cut down the response time in the Louisa County area and surrounding it. If people come from Bowling Green, that's a pretty good little trip down to Louisa. So we're continually trying to be more accessible, be more available, reduce the amount of outage times, and provide excellent customer service for our member owners.
Yeah, you really do. I mean, it is tough work, being a lineman. And a lot of people don't always internalize the risk. You know, they're the ones, it hit me personally. I was driving home in a storm and a tree fell down across the road, and I had just passed, probably 8 or 10 lineman trucks just waiting to be able to be deployed and go out and take care of down lines and things like that. But they're out there in the heat of the mess. You know, that's a risky job.
It is, and at VDOT too, and at RAC as well. Safety is a safety culture, and I tell you, I really admire those guys. You know, to be out there in the night, wind blowing, snow, it's really some, you know, limbs snapping off unexpectedly, or tops out of pine trees snapping off while you're trying to restore or fix a pole that was broken by another different pine tree that fell.
Yeah.
It's a dangerous job. Then it's one of the storms, and, you know, we have to respect these guys that get out there. And, you know, the line workers are out there in the dangerous situations trying to get our power restored. And we're spoiled. The culture we have,
Yes.
back 6 years ago, was so different. You know, a lot of people, you know, had just gotten indoor bathrooms. My grandmother didn't get an indoor bathroom until 1960 when my dad got out of the Navy. He put in a drain field. He put in a toilet and got running water other than just a bucket that went down the well. So
Yeah.
we don't know. I mean, I know, but when our power goes off, it's like we can't do anything. You know, no TV,
Yeah.
no radio.
I know.
People used to have to live that way. You know, just they didn't have a
Yeah.
light to go down and milk cows. I mean, put a lantern or something. I mean, it was
Yeah.
really rough, tough times being in a rural area back in the day. We're blessed. We're truly
You're
blessed.
right. I have so much more respect, just knowing what they do and my appreciation for the risks that they take. So let's get to a topic that's really, really hot in Louisa, and REC, Dominion, CVAC, Firefly, and the county. You guys just made a big announcement recently about broadband, and I know that there's a lot of questions still. There's progress being made there, but can you tell us a little bit more about, you know, where are we? That was a couple months ago. So where are we now? What are kind of some of the plans moving forward with that broadband announcement?
Yeah, that broadband announcement on March 1st, 2021. I was there, and of course a lot of people were there, but basically Louisa County, and I'm proud to be from Louisa County, and the stance that our board member has taken and stepping out with that $15 million to put it out there for RAC, CVAC, Dominion Power. I just really got my admiration, because I've been saying ever since this issue came with broadband, I've been telling people RAC can't solve this. I said, it's going to take local government, state government, federal government. And that's what this RDOF auction was. You get the federal involved, get federal money opportunity, and just everybody, it's going to take a joint effort. And that's really is what it's taken to see Louisa County really stepped up big. I mean, because we put a letter out and give an invitation to all the counties in our service area, and Louisa is the one that stepped up the biggest. And that made me proud that Louisa did that. And so basically, right now, we have Firefly, who's a subsidiary of CVAC. We're working with them on a daily basis. Our RAC staff, you know, some of it's on legal matters, some of it's on the infrastructure. You know, RAC had done a study, a make-ready study, they call it, to see what it would cost, what would need to be upgraded. You know, some places the poles won't support the overhead broadband, and so we had to have a consultant take a look at how many poles, how big of poles, dollars, numbers. All that was done a good while back before RDOF came. So that opportunity is there. You know, we weren't able to follow through on our end because of court cases filed in federal court, but we were able to work with some folks who were already in it. And Central Virginia Electric Co-op was already working in the northwestern part of Louisa County, and some questions had already come up, you know, too, you know, well, what if CVAC is on one side of the road and REC is on the other, and they're putting it in, you know, of course, we wouldn't want to prohibit folks from getting broadband. We want people to have broadband in all of our services, that opportunity to get to it. And been a work with Louisa County and CVAC through their Firefly. It's been a great opportunity to be able to participate and use our infrastructure and work through it. When they've been working on service agreements, they've been working on all the legal paperwork and also the technical part to get the design completed, to get the fiber installation started in Louisa County and the rural areas, you know, to catch Of course, we've already had Verizon has come, through Louisa County, but that was outside the service area because in 2015, before I was on the board, I knew they were coming all the way down 208 past Small Snuckles. I knew they were coming through the town of Louisa, School Bus Road, and all the way 33, 17 miles to Hanover. And in doing so, they went right by Thomas Jefferson Elementary School, and they were going right by Jewett. And I asked them, I said, is there any way you could provide internet access to our county? No, that's not our goal. We're just trying to connect to Hanover where our service territory is. And I said, well, could you serve the schools? And they said, well, maybe. I said, well, our board members will go and help you get a lot of these easements. If you could just somehow, even our schools, just talk to our board. And later on, I met with them again. I said, did you talk to the board? No. State Corporation Commission, this is our service area. Louisa's outside of it. We can't do anything. And I thought, what a shame. You're coming right through our county. All this, and here it is. There it is. You can just upsize it. But we have no access to this cable. It's running 20 some miles through Louisa County, but we can't access it. So it's been great that, the board's been working hard, Louisa County Board of Supervisors, RAC management staff, and RAC board has really took a strong interest in this as well. And it's taken a lot of team effort, but I'm glad it's finally coming to fruition, and we're going to start to see some positive results in places in Louisa County that have never been served before.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about that. I guess the design phase is in process now, right? Like,
yes.
And I know the announcement, there was a few steps and a few phases to the process. Can you kind of summarize, just to kind of set expectations for folks? When might we start first seeing some broadband accessible to some homes?
I know we're right now, we're still getting some of the paperwork negotiated and signed, and we're also in the design phase. And I'm gonna let the RAC public relations folks step out, when they really have more information.
Oh,
and they
okay.
can schedule and exactly where some of the areas will be started. I know Louisa County has a vested interest in this at a large level, and so I expect we'll be listening to a lot of the feedback from the county and Louisa government, because there's growth areas in the county that they've established. And places where, Shannon Hill Business Park, if that goes and does what they want, that's probably going to be a hot spot they're going to want to get fiber into, because that could bring in some really, really good jobs to Louisa, more tax revenues. And so, we'll be listening, Louisa County Board of Supervisors will have a strong voice. Not that we don't want to serve everybody, but, it's going to have, you can't do it all at once. And so they'll help set the priorities.
Yeah. So let me kind of rephrase, because I know everything's in design right now, but your group, this connection between CVAC, Dominion, REC, and then of course the county, what is happening? Are you having regular, like, monthly meetings, strategy sessions, things like that? What's the process of kind of building and solidifying that partnership and moving things forward?
Yeah, I'm not involved in those meetings personally.
Oh, okay.
But RAC staff is, and I've asked, they've said, not a day goes by that RAC staff at different levels isn't working on different aspects of this, the legal aspect of it, the design aspect. They're in contact, working daily. So it's going to happen. And, and I know they want it to happen as quickly as possible. And so we're getting all the ducks in a row. And like Casey Hollins from over our communications department, the appropriate time, she's going to be putting out more detailed information about schedule and that type of things and what areas. But it's just an exciting time to see this happening, because I didn't realize there was such an issue in 2015. I saw, just from a simple perspective, I wasn't on the board, I didn't know, but hey, these guys are putting in broadband. They're coming all the way to Louisa. Hey, simple solution. And then kind of find out, well, it's outside of our service area. That takes changes, State Corporation Commission, and their plan, and I didn't really think of it at the time, they had already designed their whole project, bid it out. They were just wanting to get a permit from VDOT and go now. They weren't, we were way too late to be probably talking about, putting dark fiber in or doing something to upsize, but it's just been nice. But now we got all the parties, I know the local government has been really involved, Louisa County and other local counties, but you also have the state government stepped up, federal government stepped up and realized, and I think COVID-19 probably helped even magnify how bad the situation was, the lack of broadband in the rural areas. So good things can come out of bad things. So
you're exactly right. There's opportunities in everything. Well, Mark, I certainly appreciate your time today. It's been great. This broadband initiative is definitely wonderful. I'm so excited to see it happening. REC is a great partner to the county and also to the Chamber of Commerce. I do want to remind everybody that Rappahannock Electric Cooperative is a chamber member. If you want to get in touch with or find out any information about the elections happening for the board of directors, keeping up to date on the broadband initiative, you can always go to our chamber website. Also contacts to be able to get in touch with the REC is listed there. Mark, I really appreciate your time. Before we go, is there anything that maybe you'd like to share that I haven't asked you yet?
I would just like to just thank you so much for the invitation to share and have a good discussion with you. It's been really good. I appreciate you taking time and thinking about me and giving me the opportunity to do this. Thank you so much, Tracy. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Well, we appreciate it, Rappahannock, and you guys are doing a lot, and I look forward to more updates and information about what's happening. And now that I, know more about VDOT2, there's so much going on with there. Gosh, we'll have to talk a little bit more and share some information about that in the future as well.
Well, Tracy, thank you so much. I've enjoyed the interview. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks everybody for joining us. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.